Good morning and Merry Christmas. How is everyone this morning? I haven't been going live because I've had this really bad cold, so please bear with me. But I thought I would come on this morning and say Merry Christmas, everybody. And I hope your day is blessed. I hope it's full of love and joy and family and friends and great mornings. Good morning, Trooper. How are you this morning? Sorry I haven't been live. I haven't been feeling well. So I'm going to try and make it through this. So I'm just doing a few things in the kitchen this morning, and I thought I would come on and say hi and bring you along. So let me go ahead and wash my hands, and then I'll get started. How have you been? Merry Christmas, Trooper. So, there's only two of us here. I'm good. How about you? I'm just getting over this cold or whatever it is. That's why I haven't been live. I have not been feeling good. Okay, I'm just going to move you over here. And I'll just talk to you a little bit this morning. So if you're at home and not doing anything this morning and just want to hang out, see if I can get you adjusted there. Well, I got to go open presents, so I hope you get over this cold soon. Thank you, and just wanted to tell you good morning, and I'm glad you're here, and Merry Christmas to you and your family, your loved ones, and have a blessed day. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Trooper is my only mod. Okay, I'm just doing a little bit of stuff in the kitchen this morning. And it's only my husband and myself, so I don't have a whole lot to cook for this today. And I have a lot of things done ahead of time. So I just wanted to share with you what I'm going to be doing for a easy Christmas dinner for two. And some of this is things that I have prepared ahead of time, and I'll explain that and go through that with you. But what I'm starting with this morning is I'm making a breakfast casserole. So, I had cubed up some potatoes, washed and left the skins on, put them in the oven until they're nice and soft. And to get ahead of myself, I went ahead and browned some sausage, 1 pound of sausage. So the sausage is ready to go. And I have some frozen onions that I have diced up. I'm going to use those. And I'm just going to throw together a breakfast casserole and get that out of my way real quick. So I hope everyone is having a really good day. I'll bring you just a little bit closer here so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully that's not too bright. Let's see if I can get it down a little bit there. There we go. So basically right now I just have my potatoes. I just put them in the oven and let them soften a little bit. I wanted them to be fork tender. And they're all fork tender now. So I'm going to start adding my other things to my casserole. So Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope that you are on the good list and not the naughty list, and that Santa brought you some wonderful presents. I'm just going to add my brown sausage in. And I'm just using a spoon to kind of drain off a little bit of that extra grease. But I do want a little bit of it because I have the potatoes on the bottom. And the sausage is going to make it a little bit of grease as it bakes. I didn't want to over brown my sausage. And I thought I was going to do this yesterday, and I just did not feel very good, so I didn't push it yesterday. I got this cold, and it's just really wore me down. Hubby's still sleeping. So now I've got the potatoes, and I have them covered in the sausage, brown sausage. Now I'm going to move you back a little bit. And I have 6 eggs with me this morning. I'm going to go ahead and mix up some eggs. Make a little bit of room for myself. Sorry if that's noisy. And I'm going to go ahead and add these frozen onions. They're just diced onions. I'm going to go ahead and add them into my casserole. I'm just making a little breakfast casserole. It'll be for brunch. And when you have a family of 2, it's really hard to cook a whole lot for a family of 2. So, a lot of times I'll make casseroles or things, you've been watching me, and then I'll divide it up into freezer containers and store it for another time. So now I have my cubed potatoes, a layer of sausage, and some diced frozen onions. We got a really good Christmas blessing yesterday. We heard back from the realtor that everything is just about ready to close on the new property, so we're very excited. So what an amazing Christmas gift on Christmas Eve. So very, very excited. Wow. Okay, I'm going to just 6 eggs. Just making a breakfast casserole. My oven's on 350. I had it on earlier with my potatoes that I just washed, left the peelings on, cubed them, put them in the oven, and let them get fork tender. I'm just going to throw together a little breakfast casserole. Again, I'm only cooking for 2. But this will be enough for 1 meal for my husband and I, and then enough to put away for at least another meal or 2. So that's how I do my preparing ahead. So now I have 6 eggs, and I'm going to mix up a little bit of powdered milk. If you've been watching me, you know I use powdered milk. So I just have a quart jar, and this is whole milk powder. So I hope Santa's been good to everybody. Hi, good morning. How are you this morning? Merry Christmas. Thank you for stopping in. And I'm going to be making some other things for dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and do 8 tablespoons of powdered milk. And set my eggs aside. And we did stop the remodeling if you've been following us. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing better. I'm getting over my cold. Well, I got to go open presents. Okay, that was Trooper. Okay. Sorry, it's hard to read these little messages. Okay, so there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I want this to be just a little bit heavy, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1 extra tablespoon. Because I'm going to be using this with other meal prep for my Christmas dinner. Okay, so right now I have 9 tablespoons. Normally you would put 8 tablespoons. And it's 8 ounces of water to 4 tablespoons. So I'm going to be doing 2 cups. I'm going to be doing 16 ounces. So this is how I prepare my milk. I got used to doing this because we're in the camper a lot. And with us getting ready to purchase the new property, which is amazing. What a wonderful Christmas gift. We found out yesterday on Christmas Eve that we're just about ready to close. So we have halted the remodeling on the mobile home. And when we get everything set up on our property, we'll be moving the mobile home. And then I can finish my remodeling. So excited. Very exciting. So when you're cooking for 2, it's a little bit hard. You know, what are you going to fix for a meal? So I'll explain to you what I'm going to be doing here, getting my Christmas meal ready. But right now I'm just doing a breakfast casserole. Hubby's still sleeping, so this will make a nice brunch. Okay, and I just put 9 tablespoons because I wanted it a little bit extra heavy. So normally it would be 8 tablespoons of whole milk powder and 16 ounces of water. I just added an extra tablespoon just to make it a little bit thick, a little bit heavier this morning. Because I'm going to be making scalloped potatoes and I'll be using the extra milk. So I stirred it up now, just shaking it a little bit. And now I'm going to add a little bit of the milk in with my 6 eggs. And I'm not really measuring, have done this so many times, I just kind of go by feel. And I'm just whipping up my egg mixture with milk. Pups decided to wake me, both puppies decided to wake up at 3 o'clock. So I thought I would go ahead and get something done in the kitchen. Okay, now I'm just going to add that egg mixture right in on top of my potatoes, my sausage, and my onions. So now I have the egg mixture, the onions diced. I have some brown sausage and some potato cubes that I put in the oven until they were fork tender. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of cheddar cheese. I have some shredded cheddar cheese. I've got the, I have everything muted so it doesn't echo back. Yeah. I'll get you a cup of coffee now. Okay, I'm just going to add some cheddar cheese now to the top. And I've let this set out and get room temperature so it'll melt a lot easier. And these are just simple meals if you have a small family like I do and you only have like 2 people. It's enough for 1 serving and then enough to put some away if you want to put it away as a freezer meal. That's what I do. Okay, I'm not going to use the rest of that because this is not a really big container. Okay, so now I've got shredded cheddar cheese. I have diced onions that were frozen. I have brown sausage, 1 pound, that I browned. I have cubed potatoes that I put in the oven until they were fork tender. And then I added my cheddar cheese on top. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of garlic powder. And a little bit of basil. If you're just coming in and stopped in this morning, Merry Christmas. I'm just making a breakfast casserole this morning. Okay. And I top that off with the basil and garlic powder. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I have it on a cookie sheet lined with aluminum foil, and I'm just going to put this right in the oven. So there's my breakfast brunch for Christmas. I'm going to get hubby a cup of coffee. Hubby's coffee. So now I'm just going to set this off to the side. This is the extra cheese. So if I was going to be making a meal for only 2 for Christmas, what would I want to make? Well, I have some extra things left over. So I had made a ham at Thanksgiving. And it was a spiral ham, and I divided it up in freezer packs and put it in little packages so that I could use it for another meal. So this is going to be my Christmas dinner. I have ham. I made some mashed potatoes in advance, and I had froze them, and then I set them in the refrigerator to thaw overnight. So I have some mashed potatoes. set this to the side. And then this is going to be the rest of my Christmas meal for 2. Hi. Good morning. So, what do I have in my little container? I'm having ham. I'm having the mashed potatoes. I'm also going to make some scallop potatoes. And these are from the box, but I have put them in the jar, and it's just got the cheese powder in with it. I picked these up at Walmart, and the potatoes, for some reason, did not have the potatoes in a liner. They were just in the box. So I moved them over to the mason jar. So those are just dehydrated potatoes, like if you would buy a box of scallop potatoes from the store. So there's scallop potatoes. I'm going to be making some baked beans. I'm going to be making some corn. I'm going to be using a small can of pineapple juice. And I have a little bit of homemade brown sugar that I made with regular granulated sugar and some of my black strap molasses. The black strap molasses. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you what I'm going to do today just to make a small meal for 2. And I'm just going to get everything ready, and then all I have to do is put it in the oven, and I'm ready for dinner. Okay, I'm going to be using this glass baking dish. Let me bring it down so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see this okay. And I'm going to be preparing my ham in this glass baking dish. And this is the ham that I just made for Thanksgiving. I froze some of it into different portions, so this is going to be our ham. And I'm going to be adding some pineapple juice, some brown sugar, and I'll add just a little bit of butter, possibly. We will see. So what I'm going to do first is put a little bit of pineapple juice in the bottom. And I'm not spraying my pan, my glass dish. So I just put maybe about 1/4 of the can in the bottom. And this is an easy way to make meals for 2 if you only have 2 people. And this is several slices of ham. As you can see, there's quite a few slices of ham in each package. And I had topped it off with pineapple and clove. So I'm just going to lay that in my pan. And I took this out of the freezer and put it in the refrigerator to thaw. So I'm just going to place that in there. Let me wash my hands. Because when you're cooking for 2, it's really hard to try to cook for just 2 people, but yet have a really good holiday meal. So this was my Thanksgiving ham, and now it's going to become my Christmas ham. Now, I've got the pineapple, everything on there, I'm going to go ahead and just put the rest of this can of pineapple juice right over top of my ham. Give it some nice fluid in there. And that'll give you a nice layer of fluid. Then I'm going to take my homemade brown sugar. And all I did was use granulated sugar and blackstrap molasses. And I have beautiful brown sugar. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to sprinkle some of this brown sugar right over top of my ham, because I added the extra pineapple juice, so it's going to be a little bit tangy. So I'm just going to add a little bit into the juice, a little bit directly on the ham. So if you're baking or cooking and you have molasses and you have granulated sugar, that's what happened to me. I needed a little bit of brown sugar, so I just mixed up granulated sugar and blackstrap molasses, and now I have brown sugar. So now I've got brown sugar on top of my ham. I've got pineapple juice. There's pineapples, cloves. So this is going to be my ham. So if you have a small family, this makes it easy to prepare a couple holidays or just an extra meal. I'm going to wrap this in aluminum foil. And I'm going to set it off to the side. So now I have ham prepared, ready to go in the oven. Next, I'm going to go ahead and get the scalloped potatoes ready. And since I had to take it out of the box and put it in a jar because they didn't have the potatoes in a plastic liner, I just went ahead and taped the instructions to one jar. There was 4 boxes, so that way when I'm making it, I know what to put in my scalloped potatoes. So let me go ahead and get ready to put those together. I'm going to leave this jar here with my instructions. And for easy cleanup, I'm just going to use a disposable aluminum pan. I'm going to spray my pan with some Pam. And then I'm just going to empty the whole container into, the whole jar into my pan. And this would be equal to 1 box of store-bought scalloped potatoes. I know I'm going to need some butter, so I got out a stick of butter. Got a spoon to stir it, a knife to cut my butter. This just makes it so easy if you're just making a dinner for two. Stir that up just a little bit. So all that is the equal to 1 box of your scalloped potato mix. The potatoes and the cheese. So now I'm going to follow the directions on this that I had to cut off the box because I don't know why they didn't have the plastic package in for the potatoes, and little crumbs of potatoes kept falling out of the box, so I moved it over to a mason jar. So I want to just go ahead and get this prepared and then set it off to the side. Okay, it says to put it in your pan, following instructions. Now it says to use 2 cups of boiling water. I'm not going to boil my water. I'm just going to be using regular bottled water at room temperature because this is going to be setting for a little bit. Until my breakfast casserole is complete in the oven, until it is done. So 2 cups of water. Two tablespoons of margarine, which I'm going to do that last, and a 1/2 cup of, it says 2% milk. I like to use whole milk. So I need 1/2 cup, and this is the powdered milk, whole milk that I mixed up. So I just need a 1/2 cup. And when you're baking and cooking for two, it's a little hard to come up with something that's not wasteful, but yet you have a very nice holiday meal. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and stir that up a little bit. So now I have, hopefully you can see that, I've got my milk, my potatoes, and cheese, just like I'd open a box of scalloped potatoes and add it in. Now I'm going to cut some butter and add it right onto the top. And it says 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to cut these in 1/2 tablespoons. I'm sorry I haven't been live. I just have not felt good. I've had this cold, and I just have not been feeling well, so I didn't come on and do any lives for a while. So I apologize for that. If you've been wondering what happened. And I was sharing earlier that we did get good news yesterday on Christmas Eve. We're getting ready to purchase the property, and the realtor called on Christmas Eve to tell us we're just about ready to close everything up. So what an amazing Christmas gift. Okay, I want to move the powdered milk over. And I'm just going to kind of stir that around again. What I did was took those 2 tablespoons of butter, and I kind of cut them up a little bit smaller to spread it throughout. And then I have a little bit of cheddar cheese left over from my breakfast casserole, and I don't want to waste anything, so I'm just going to add that right into my scalloped potatoes. Just kind of sprinkle it right in there. That way I didn't waste. And it gives me a little bit more cheese since these are made from the box. I'm just going to kind of scatter that out a little bit. And I am a messy cook. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And now I'm just going to put some aluminum foil over this, and I can set this one to the side. So now I have my ham ready. And let me get some aluminum foil on those scalloped potatoes. This makes a very quick, easy meal. If you don't have the ham, you can go pick up some ham that's pre-sliced and just add a little bit of pineapple juice and a little bit of brown sugar, a couple pineapples if you would like, and some cloves if you like cloves. So now I have my scalloped potatoes ready for the oven, and I have my ham ready for the oven. Try and clear this off a little bit. I'm limited on space. So this is just a quick, easy Christmas dinner. We've got ham, we've got scalloped potatoes. So I'm just going to move these off to the side. And now I'm going to make some baked beans. And I'm just using the can of baked beans. And I'm going to use another disposable pan. So I hope you're having a very Merry Christmas. I know we've had a very good Christmas. We got to visit with my husband's mother and father. They stopped by, his adopted mother and father, and they're in their 80s, and they stopped by for a visit, which was very nice. And then his biological mom stopped in for a visit. So we've had some very nice visits with family. My family lives quite a ways away, so they're about 3.5 hours away, so we'll have to do our Christmas over the phone this year. Okay, and I'm just going to add 1 can of Bush's baked beans. Used to, I had all of the family and grandbabies, and I used to make my homemade baked beans and the big dinners, and it was such an adjustment to go down to just 2. So I'm hoping this will help somebody if you only have a small family or only 1 or 2. this will give you an idea of what you can do for a quick, easy, simple, and inexpensive Christmas dinner. Take that big old spoon out of there. And I'm bringing over some mustard, some barbecue sauce, and some ketchup, a smaller spoon, and I have another bag of the frozen diced onions. I'm going to crunch them up a little bit. I don't need a whole lot. So I'm just going to add a few of the frozen diced onions into my baked beans. Whenever I get extra onions, I'll just dice some up and put them in the freezer, and that way anytime I'm making something and need an onion, I already have the onion. Again, when you're preparing for two, you do not want waste. So I'll put these back in the freezer. Okay, now I'm going to spice up my can of baked beans. I'm going to add just a little bit of mustard. I don't really measure, so maybe about a tablespoon or so. Same thing with some ketchup. And that I'd probably double the ketchup to the mustard. And then I'm going to add some barbecue sauce. I don't want to overwhelm it. So I'll do this, and then I'll do a taste test to see what I need to add. And then I have the rest of my brown sugar that I made up ahead of time. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that right in there. So now I have 1 can of baked beans, some frozen diced onions, ketchup, mustard, and brown sugar, and barbecue sauce. So I'm just going to mix that up. Again, this is an easy, simple dinner for two, for Christmas, or any holiday, or just any day. And this, for if you have one person or two, will have extra left over. So you can divide it into containers and put it in your freezer, and do make a head freezer prep with your leftovers, and then one day when you need something for dinner, all you have to do is take out your leftovers and you have a meal prepped ahead. Okay, and I always taste it, just go by taste. If you want a little bit more mustard or ketchup or brown sugar or barbecue sauce, and I think that's going to be absolutely perfect. So, now my baked beans is ready. I didn't have to make baked beans. I didn't have to cook the beans and then prepare everything and then bake them. So now my baked beans will be ready to put into the oven. Again, I'm going to cover it with aluminum foil. This is just a very nice, quick, easy meal for two for Christmas Day. Or for any day. And this way I know I won't have that much left over, and I can always put the leftovers in the freezer, and I will have some freezer meals prepared. So, okay, I'm going to set my baked beans off to the side. And now I'm going to bring out another smaller disposable pan, and I'm going to have some corn. So it's going to be ham, scalloped potatoes, baked beans, a can of corn, let me go ahead. Let me move some of this. I am so limited on my space because we started the remodeling, and then we were looking for land to purchase, and we found the land. So now we're just going to hold the remodeling because, again, we got an early Christmas gift yesterday on Christmas Eve. Our realtor let us know everything looks great, and we're about ready to close. Maybe right after Christmas. Okay, I made myself a little bit more room. So now I'm going to open one can of whole kernel corn, sweet corn. And this is going to make my dinner so easy. Right now I have a breakfast casserole in the oven because hubby slept in. So we're going to have it here in just a little bit. It's almost done. It's looking amazing. It's looking amazing. And when that comes out, I'll have these ready to go in. And I will have my Christmas dinner prepared. Very simple and very easy. So, one can of corn. And then I'm going to add a little bit of, have any of that out here. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. It'll be so exciting to get moved and have the mobile home moved, and then we can finish remodeling. One day, I will have a completely remodeled kitchen. How awesome. And I'm going to put about 3 of these small scoops of sugar in. I like my corn sweet. So does my husband. And then I'm going to bring back over my stick of butter. And I'm going to do the same thing and just cut off some half tablespoons of butter. And I'll put about 2 tablespoons total right into my corn. Set my butter to the side. And then I'm just going to stir this a little bit, just to get everything mixed together. So now I have corn, whole kernel corn, sweet corn, ready to go into the oven. I'm going to cover that with aluminum foil. And this is almost ready, and my casserole is almost ready to come out of the oven. And then I'll have these already on pans, and I'll place these in the oven. And I will have dinner prepared in about 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to put the corn there. And even though I have scalloped potatoes, I had some frozen mashed potatoes that I made ahead, and I always freezer meals. And I put them in the refrigerator to thaw out overnight. So now all I have to do is just stir these up a little bit, and they'll be a little bit watery, which is normal whenever you freeze them. All you have to do is just mix it up a little bit. They'll come back together. I didn't have to peel potatoes. I didn't have to mash them, because I already had them prepared ahead of time. I usually make enough for at least 3 or 4 containers about this size. And then I'm just going to stir them up and get them all fluffy again. And I'm going to spray this pan with some Pam. Going to the sink so I don't make a mess. And I'm going to turn these into a butter and garlic potatoes. So I'm going to add some garlic powder. I'm going to add some butter. And that's about 2 tablespoons. I gotta cut one more. My butter's starting to soften up on me. I'll just go ahead and put the rest of that in there. It's going to be garlic potatoes, so that will be fine. Now I'm just going to stir this up a little bit. I hope this gives you some ideas if you're cooking for a small family. And when you have a little extra time, and if you have extra potatoes, maybe cook them and mash them ahead of time and put them in the freezer. Or if you have extra ham, divide it up into small packages. Then it makes everything so much easier for just mixing a few sides together. Now I'm just going to put my potatoes right into this small baking dish. And these will be a garlic butter mashed potatoes. And I'm just going to smooth those out, and those potatoes will absorb back up any extra liquid that's in there, and they will just fluff right back up, just like when you mash them. So garlic butter, mashed potatoes, ready to go in the oven. I'm going to cover it with some aluminum foil. I'm just going to set it there onto the side. I may need a bigger cookie sheet. We will see. So I'm going to go ahead and move this one. I'm just going to pull it right out and move it to a cooling rack. My breakfast casserole is ready, and hopefully you can see that. That has potatoes, sausage, onions, cheese, garlic powder, and a little bit of seasonings. So now I can go ahead and put everything in. The oven. Oops, and got them on. Okay. This is my ham and my baked beans. And let me see if I can't get a little bit bigger cookie sheet. And this is a thinner cookie sheet, so I'm going to go ahead and line this with aluminum foil. Just in case I have any spills. And then I can put these. This is the corn and the mashed potatoes. Oh no, the other one was ham and scalloped potatoes. This is baked beans, corn, and mashed potatoes. So I can go ahead and put that in the oven. So basically, my whole dinner is now in the oven. I have the ham in the oven. I have the scalloped potatoes in the oven, the baked beans, the corn, and the mashed potatoes, all in the oven. And just look at that beautiful breakfast casserole. It has cubed potatoes that I just diced up and put in the oven with a little bit of oil and let them soften till they were fork soft. I browned some 1 pound of sausage, added it over the potatoes. I had some frozen onions I added, and then I added some eggs with a little bit of milk in it, scrambled up, and then I topped it with cheese. So there is my beautiful breakfast casserole ready for brunch. Now the only thing I would be missing would be some dinner rolls. And the same with everything else. I always make some ahead, and I divide them up into 4 or 6. And then whenever I need dinner rolls, they're already baked and I froze them. I just need to let them set out and thaw, and then just heat them up in the microwave right before dinner. So there's the dinner rolls that I made at Thanksgiving, divided up into individual packages. Oh, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you. You said it looks nice. Thank you. So there's my dinner rolls. And since I'm going to be using the last of my dinner rolls, of course this morning I got out some frozen rolls and I'm letting them raise. And while my oven is on and when everything's done, I'll go ahead and put these in, and then I can divide those up for future meals. So that's how I do my make-ahead freezer meals. So I have 4 in this one as well. And that way I didn't waste anything. I went ahead and used the remainder of my frozen rolls, and everything set out to raise while we have a nice warm kitchen. And it's not going to be no stress. Just when I'm done with everything else, they're ready to go. I've been subscribed for a while, didn't notice I'm here though. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't been online for a while because I've been really sick. I've had this really bad sinus, cold, whatever it is that's going around. So I just have not been live. But I wanted to come on this morning and tell everybody Merry Christmas and give everybody an update and let them know that yes, we are okay. We are doing well. And we did get an early Christmas gift yesterday on Christmas Eve. The realtor called the property that we put in an offer for. They accepted the offer. And we shall be closing, according to him yesterday, any day. So hopefully right after Christmas, or with the holidays, it might be right after the New Year. So we're going to halt any more remodeling. So my kitchen's going to have to wait. It's still only half remodeled. This is just land, so we're going to have to clear it and put a septic system in, but there's natural gas, city water, and power that we can hook everything up to, and then we'll be moving our mobile home, and then we can finish remodeling. What's a cooking? This is my rolls that I have out for backup rolls. And I was showing how to make a small Christmas meal for like if you only have 2 or 1 person. And I had some left. I made a very large ham at Thanksgiving, and it was a spiral ham. So we had ham for Thanksgiving, and then I divided all my leftover up into individual packages. So if you go back to the beginning of my live stream, you'll see that. And then I just took some of that out, one package out, and put it in the refrigerator yesterday. And I had some made mashed potatoes ahead of time, because I would do preps ahead of time to do like make ahead freezer meals, because there's only 2 of us and it makes it easier for me, and that way I know there's no waste. So I took out a thing of my mashed potatoes, frozen mashed potatoes, and then the ham, and then I put that all together. You can see that at the beginning. I showed all the ingredients. I knew I was going to be needing a little bit of brown sugar, so I made my own brown sugar with just granulated sugar, and I had some blackstrap molasses, and I had made some brown sugar, so I added some of that in with my ham. And then I opened a can of baked beans, and I put all my ingredients in it, added some of my homemade brown sugar into it. And then I made a box of scalloped potatoes using the powdered milk. I mixed up powdered milk and made the scalloped potatoes. I also added some of these powdered milk in with my eggs for my breakfast casserole. And this is the breakfast casserole that is complete now. It has potatoes, brown sausage, onions, and cheese, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of parsley. So that is my breakfast casserole for brunch. Of course, I'm only cooking for 2, myself and my husband. And then I had made rolls ahead of time, and this was some of the dinner rolls I made at Thanksgiving, and divided them up in 4 and 6 rolls, because there's only 2 of us. And I brought these out and let them thaw, so all I have to do is heat these up and dinner's ready. And I knew that that was my last 4 rolls, so I had those frozen rolls, and I went ahead and put them all out, and they're raising, so when dinner is done today, I can just put those in, and then I can divide those up into individual packages for future meals. So my corn, I made 1 can of corn and added a little bit of butter and sugar to it, and it's in the oven. The scalloped potatoes are in the oven, the baked beans are in the oven, the mashed potatoes are in the oven, and the ham's in the oven. And all of that I've done, including making the casserole, in a little over an hour. So if you only have 2 people, this is quick, easy meals. Oh, okie dokie. I like old-fashioned dinners, the whole value meals you get. Yes, yes. And it's made with love, you know. That's what my grandmother used to say. It's made with love. And what kind of beans? I just used a can of the Bush's baked bean. It's the brown sugar and hickory, but I added barbecue, a little bit of barbecue sauce, a little bit of mustard, a little bit of ketchup, a few frozen onions, because I dice up some onions when I have extra onions, and I freeze them. And that way when I want to make a meal, I can just take out a handful and put it into it. So I added onions, and then I added some of my homemade brown sugar as well. And then I just used the 1 can of whole corn. And then whenever I did my ham, I used the ham that already had pineapple slices on it with clove when I baked it at Thanksgiving. So I added 1 small can of pineapple juice. And I put it somewhere. I just don't want to cut myself. I used 1 small can of pineapple juice, to add a little bit of liquid to my ham, since I had baked it and then froze it. So now I'm reheating everything back up. So I put about a quarter of the can in on the bottom, placed the ham in, poured the rest over top, and then added my homemade brown sugar and put aluminum foil over it. So that will give me my ham, my scalloped potatoes, my baked beans. I went ahead and made a garlic butter mashed potato and corn. And then I have the rolls. And then I made the breakfast casserole for us for brunch. So if you only have a small family and there's only maybe one or two of you, you can still make a very nice meal, not real expensive. And a lot of it was things that I had made before, and I still have milk left over, even though I used it in my breakfast casserole, and I used it in my scalloped potatoes. If I wanted to make something else within, and I usually only keep the powdered milk maybe a few days, because I only mix up what I know I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be making some biscuits, so I know I'm going to be using up this milk. And then I'm going to be making some more mashed potatoes. So I know that this milk will then not go to waste. And it is the powdered milk. It's not store-bought milk. So I have a long shelf life, and I can just go to the pantry, pull it out, and mix up what I need. And for a family of two, this works great. Because it seems like I'll go get milk, and we cannot use it fast enough. And so this works out for me. And we go camping a lot, so I use the powdered milk when we're camping, because we may be, hours away from a store, and this comes in handy. So if you go back and watch some of my other lives, you'll see that I use a lot of powdered pantry supplies. I have powdered eggs. I have dehydrated potatoes. I have cheese powders, dehydrated egg powder, strawberry slices. I think those are the freeze-dried peas. So different things like that. So I can take them camping and put them in a mason jar, and I know that if we're there, for a while, that no mice, no rodents or anything's going to get into my milk powder or my sugar or whatever I may have at the camper. And I went back through, if you look at some of my lives, as I was getting ready to go to the camper, I was preparing different mason jars to take to the camper. Okay, I'll take that. What kind of beans? Oh, okay, I'll take that. Wish we could teleport food around. I wish you could smell. I wish YouTube had a smell, because I'm standing over top of this breakfast casserole, and oh, it smells so good. It absolutely smells amazing. It looks amazing. If you only had the smell to go with it. So my kitchen smells like breakfast casserole, ham with pineapple baking, baked beans, and everything for Christmas. And it's cooking for two on a budget, and using things that I already have, that I've already prepared ahead of time. And this way, even though I'm not feeling good, and that's again why I haven't been on any of my live streams, because I've had this really bad cold sinus thing, so I overlooked the way I look. And but during that time, I had made things ahead and had them in the freezer, and had things in the pantry that I could just go pick up. I could literally have breakfast for lunch. This is going to be our brunch, the breakfast casserole, and then I make my own cinnamon raisin bread. So this will be what hubby will probably have with his breakfast casserole. you'll have cinnamon raisin toast that I make in the bread maker. So all of this has taken a lot of stress and worry out of, you know, what am I going to do for Christmas? I don't feel good. So I had all these made ahead, small portions, divided in my freezer. And I just went to the freezer and I was like, we'll have ham and we'll have mashed potatoes. And then I just had to add a few sides with it. And we've got an amazing Christmas dinner. And then I had made homemade strawberry pie with a graham cracker crust, and that's what my husband's down to his last piece, so he's going to have that for dessert with a little bit of whipped cream. So without stressing, I've had a very nice Christmas dinner for two. Hopefully you feel better. Oh, well, thank you. Okay, I understand what brunch is in between lunch and breakfast. Yes. Honestly, I'm really simple at Christmas, and simple gift cards, and I'm all happy. You know, and that's what I've always been taught. I came from a very big family. There was 8 children and mom and dad. So we knew that we were getting Christmas gifts, and we were so appreciative. But it was the love and the blessings of sharing the Christmas day, Christmas Eve, the dinners with family, with friends. That meant more, I think, to us growing up. Of course, we enjoyed our gifts. You know, we were children. But as we got older and we left home, those memories always stay there, because love and all of the blessings that you get from just being there for somebody whenever there's nobody else around, or taking the time out to just call somebody and check on them if you know they're alone, or maybe make a little extra plate and make sure that you stop by if there's an elderly neighbor or a family member, and just stop in. That love lasts forever. Those blessings last forever. And they're memories that people live with and they love. And, you know, I think we need to see more of that. And I'm really glad that I was raised in the manner that I was raised in. And I'm hoping that if I'm doing little videos like this, that maybe I can pass on, you know, some of my cooking skills that I was taught through my Mennonite grandmother, through my mother, and maybe I can leave them for my daughter who watches my YouTube channel, and my grandchildren, and now I'm a great grandma. So hopefully I can leave a little something and share some of the things that I've been taught, and, you know, leave something behind that's useful and meaningful. So hopefully that'll be a small gift that I can leave. So anyway, I've been on here now for about an hour, a little over an hour, and I am starting to get a little tired. I'm still not completely recuperated. It's nice for someone to think about someone else. It's nice for simple gifts, always the gift cards for me, since I'm a gamer on PC and Xbox. Alright, I know it's pretty nice. I like modesty and humble. Well, bless your heart. But I hope today has brought somebody a blessing. If you were alone today, hopefully you turned on my channel and you got to watch me fumble around my kitchen looking the way that I look. But I just wanted to say you're not alone. You know, if you get lonely, turn on YouTube, find somebody that's doing something like me and just piddling, and welcome to my home. You know, I bring you into my kitchen, I'm bringing you into my home, my real life. And yes, sometimes it's noisy. I have 2 Maltese puppies, and sometimes they're tugging on my shirt and they're barking. It's real life here. So I just wanted to come on and share you know, some of the things in my life, and maybe leave a little something for my daughter, for my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. And along the way, maybe share something with somebody that has picked up something that maybe I'm doing, because I do a lot of my own dehydrating, making my own meals, my flour, and a lot of baking from scratch. So hopefully it's helping somebody else to come up with new ideas, and it's just simple cooking, nothing special. I'm 21, so I'm fine with whatever. Living with family is way better to me. Exactly. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here, but before I do, every year, my husband gets me a snow globe. Last year, it was, and sometimes it's just a snow globe. Last year, it was a lantern, a red lantern, with a Santa in it and snow that lit up. This year, for my birthday and Christmas, because my birthday is December 5th, and he got me this beautiful, and it's very narrow, it's not very wide, beautiful snow globe. And just like the other lantern, let's see if I can, let me turn this, let me try turning this off. I don't know if you can see that or not. I may have to, oops, let me try doing this. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's going to be too bright, I believe. I wish you could see how pretty that is. There we go. Isn't that absolutely, positively beautiful? I am so blessed. And then, of course, he knows that I collect snowmen. And every year, he buys me a new snowman, stuffed snowman, for my birthday and Christmas. And this year, I got two. I got this little fella who's absolutely gorgeous. And he got me this one because he always tries to get one. And the puppies have spotted the toy. And he always tries to get me one with the date on the foot, with the year. And this is the little girl snowman. I'm just so blessed. And we have two little ones here that are saying, "What do you have, Mama?" Are you looking at the baby? Do you see the baby? And this is Lily and Ryder. And they seen the little toy. They were like, "Oh, Mama, is that for me?" Sorry for all the moving around. So Mama brought out a toy and they wanted to check that out. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead then and hop off of here. And I hope that everybody has a very, very Merry Christmas. Enjoy your family, your friends, your loved ones. And if you're alone, turn on the TV, find something that you will enjoy. Turn on some music, light a candle. And remember, you're not alone. Even if you're not here with me in my home, Merry Christmas from my home. From me and my husband to you and your home, your loved ones, and your family. And may your holidays be blessed with love, joy, happiness, and memories to last a lifetime. So until next time, bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for stopping in. And if you haven't, please like my video. And if you'd like to subscribe, please please do. I'm just an old lady with a little extra time on my hands. Oh, thanks. Enjoy yourself, too. I'll watch some YouTube and play GTA. Also, new subscribe. New deodorant sales are on the wall. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, everybody have a wonderful day. It won't be long until my Christmas dinner is ready, and I'll just take it out of the oven, set it on top, and when we are ready, all we have to do is fix us a plate, pop it in the microwave, and we have an absolutely amazing Christmas dinner and dessert for two. And it wasn't just, you know, something that was ordered. It wasn't something that was fast food. It was something that I had made in advance. And thank goodness I did, because I was not planning on being sick for the holidays. So anyway, bye-bye, everyone. Have an absolutely blessed day. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. And Merry Christmas. Ollie, bye-bye. Have free time, come back on whatever. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for your kindness, and thank you for being here today. Bye-bye, everyone. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your family, your loved ones, and the wonderful blessing of Christmas. Never forget why we celebrate Christmas. Bye-bye.